Last time, we saw that LLMs work by predicting one word at a time. But actually, they don't work with words, they work with something called tokens. And the way they select those tokens involves a setting called temperature. In this video, we'll cover both of those, and then we'll talk about the most important limitation of LLMs, hallucinations. These three concepts explain a lot about why AI behaves the way it does. Let's go. What's a token? A token is a word, or a piece of a word, the smallest unit that the LLM processes. Here's a simple example: the word understanding might be split into two tokens, under and standing. The word cat is one token. A comma is one token. Even a space can be a token. In Chinese, each character is typically 1 to 3 tokens, depending on the model. Why does this matter to you? Because tokens are the billing unit. You don't pay per question or per response, you pay per token. And the same idea expressed in Chinese typically costs more tokens than in English, because Chinese characters are more information dense but also tokenized differently. Think of it like a taxi fare, not per sentence, but per unit of distance. Now let's talk about temperature. Remember the prediction loop from last time: the LLM is choosing from a probability list of possible next tokens. Temperature controls how that selection works. Low temperature, close to zero, means the LLM almost always picks the highest probability token. The result is stable, predictable, and consistent. Good for factual questions, summaries, and anything where you want the same answer every time. High temperature means the LLM sometimes picks lower probability tokens. The result is more varied and creative, but also less reliable. Good for brainstorming, creative writing, and generating options. Here's a practical implication: if you ask the same question twice, you might get slightly different answers. That's not a bug, it's temperature at work. One useful trick: when you're not sure about an answer, open a fresh conversation and ask again. If the two answers are consistent, that's a good sign. If they're wildly different, be cautious. Now for hallucinations, the most important limitation to understand. Here's the core problem: an LLM doesn't know when it's wrong. Because the LLM isn't looking up facts, it's predicting what a plausible answer would look like. It can generate text that sounds completely authoritative while being entirely fabricated. There are three common types of hallucinations. First, fabricated citations. The LLM will generate a reference that looks perfectly real: author name, book title, year, page number, and none of it exists. This has tripped up academics, journalists, and lawyers. Second, incorrect numbers. The LLM isn't calculating, it's predicting what a number should look like statistically. Simple arithmetic might be fine, but anything complex is risky. Always verify numbers yourself. Third, sycophancy, the AI telling you what you want to hear. LLMs are trained to make users satisfied. If you push back, they'll often agree with you, even when you're wrong. The more emotionally you insist, the more likely they are to cave. Let me give you a real example of how serious this can get. In 2023, a lawyer in the United States used ChatGPT to research legal cases for a court filing. The AI generated 6 detailed case citations, real-sounding names, courts, dates, everything. The judge asked to see those cases. None of them existed. The lawyer was fined and publicly sanctioned. The LLM wasn't lying, it was doing exactly what it always does: predicting plausible-sounding text. It just had no idea the cases weren't real. For administrative work, any time you're citing sources, checking facts, or using specific numbers from an LLM response, you need to verify them independently. The LLM does not flag its own errors. This case is fully documented on Wikipedia. Search Mata versus Avianca to find the actual court ruling. Which brings up a practical verification tip: next time AI gives you a citation, ask it for the URL. Then open it yourself. AI can fabricate URLs too, so asking alone isn't enough, but it's the fastest first check you can do. If it can't give you a URL, or the URL doesn't open, treat that as a strong hallucination signal. So what's the right mental model? Think of the LLM as a very capable colleague who does excellent first drafts, but who sometimes makes things up and never admits it. Everything they hand you needs a second check before it goes out. AI gives you suggestions. The decision and the responsibility are yours. In the next video, we'll go beyond hallucinations and look at 5 things AI structurally cannot do, not because of bugs, but because of how it's built. See you there.